Yeah, there were a lot of fantasy elements in there. It was really, which I wasn't expecting, because like, yeah, like I think that's what I like more because you got Star Wars behind you. I was always like, oh, I love science fiction, and I realized like, oh, I actually like sci-fi fantasy the most. And then
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. It's
I
hard
like
though
you said
because
exploration though. That's just sorry, I'm having a breakthrough because the best parts I think of some of the books behind you were like Luke discovering old Jedi knowledge or where they
Mhm.
discovered old technology from these past empires or or peoples or something like that or the Sith or something. So I think that yeah,
Yeah.
like it's fun, right, to go with them to new worlds and it's funny, right, where they have all this technology. We assume, right, that all the worlds and stuff have been explored, but I think that's the fun part about it is that they have so many worlds that aren't explored or aren't explored fully. So you get to be with the characters exploring. So I
Yeah.
just think that you pointed that out really well, and I never really realized that's why I liked fantasy or sci-fi when they do that kind of thing. So that makes total
Yeah.
sense. That's super cool.
Yeah. Well, it's that same kind of, I think that's why fantasy video games are so popular too, especially for like RPG type stuff, because you want to incentivize the player to go out and explore the world. And
Yeah, yeah.
usually it's fantasy setting type set video games set within a fantasy world that are usually, I think, the best at that. I think of Elden
Right.
Ring, Breath
Yeah.
of the Wild, Witcher 3, games like or
Yeah, yeah,
Skyrim, the big one. Um,
yeah.
so I think it's very much a sense of wonder and just again that adventurous vibe that you're going on a quest with these people and they're discovering maybe what's familiar with them, but it's unfamiliar to you. So it's fun
Yeah.
to kind of just explore that, I think. And I think fantasy does. I think that's probably the best genre that it definitely does in. And
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
do like that you bring up Star Wars as a sci-fi fantasy because I think some people kind of just coordinate off into sci-fi. I'm like, no, it's very much fantasy first, then sci-fi
Yeah,
afterward.
yeah, yeah.
I fully defend that of being like it's very much a fantasy story first, and then it's sci-fi. So trust me, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
fantasy elements are a lot more pushed to the forefront than the sci-fi parts are.
Well, I've like argued with people about that, and I'm like, the force like controls every. I'm like, you're starting with, and what's the best part, in my opinion, right? Besides the exploration, it's like the exploration of the force through, in the
Yeah,
universe through it. Like, I think Yoda says it best, right? Like, it binds us, connects us, like brings the
yeah.
galaxy together. It's like everything I think revolves around that fantasy aspect, and like even the lightsabers, right? Like, yeah, it's a sci-fi technology, but it's really a fantasy weapon with a sword, right? And
Absolutely. It's
yeah, yeah,
Excalibur, basically.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I also think like you bring up like great video games, but like Dragon Age, the first one, I think was so
Oh
fun
yeah.
because
Oh my
you
gosh.
get to
Yeah.
explore so much of the world. You get to go to the meet
Yeah.
the dwarves. You get to go down. That was like some of the best gameplay I've ever played was when you got to, re-explore some of their old, haunts and dungeons and defeat some of their old enemies and stuff and discover, or like
Absolutely.
Oblivion, Skyrim. I love going, whether you're going to the dwarven ruins or some of the elvish ones, and or the
Mhm.
Dwemer, sorry, or the dwarves, right? Yeah, it's always fun. That's what my favorite part is
Yeah.
on those games is just to like Oblivion Skyrim is just to go and that's what I would do at Morrowind too. I like barely ever did the main quest. I just would
Yeah.
just to hang out, right? Just to explore the world, get
Yeah.
some world building in and learn how to do it
Yeah.
from a game perspective. It's just absolutely
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think Oblivion and Skyrim did it best because if you followed the main story, they usually would make the quest markers really
Yep.
far away in the map. So as you
Yeah, yeah,
walk
yeah.
there, you're just discovering all these new different
Yeah, you
pathways.
had
And then
to.
you end up kind of forgetting the main storyline of what's going on.